And I am Hewie Poplock, and I'll be your host today. Ron is here, but he's my co-host. We do this first show of every month to give Ron a little time for himself, but we didn't let him do it this week. He's still doing a video for today. This is a 1 hour show about technology with Q&A at the end. Tech Talk and Beyond, Bob's going to be talking about, and then portable chargers will come from me. And then fun with photos, easy organizing. Chris will handle that. And then Chat GPT search. Ron has been working with that and learning new things. He's going to share that with you. Then website of the week, I'm going to talk about cracked.com. And then locking down spam with Bob, and then our music, and then finally our Q&A. So we got lots going on today. It's going to be a busy day. We're glad everybody's here. Ron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Had a couple of things. I just wanted to remind everybody to keep looking at our newsletter and thank again our participating sponsors, Geeks on Tour, Central Florida Computer Society, and the Glendora Seniors Computer Club. For those of you who saw last Tuesday's Builds Gadgets, that was a cool gadget with a bird feeder by Weiss. And the Weiss cameras clip in behind, and you can now watch birds feeding in the bird feeder, which I thought was sort of cool. Today, on Saturday, I did in the newsletter, I did an article about the advantages of using Starlink as a snowbird. If you are traveling south for the winter and staying in some parks or RV places around the Mesa or in the southern area, Starlink's an excellent source. And I put all the information about why that would be a good thing in the newsletter on Saturday. So there is a lot of good things in our newsletter. Please make sure you have subscribed. And again, thank you for our sponsors.
Gee, the voice of the Tech for Seniors. How are you doing today?
Just fine. I'm up. I woke up, so I'm doing very well. Thank you.
And you're also working the election tomorrow.
Yes, I am.
Yep, as I am. Ray, our music director in Arizona, how are you doing today?
Oh, very good, because I got an extra hour of sleep today. Now that the rest of the country has joined us on standard time, I'm arriving here an hour later than I did last week. Pretty nice.
Yeah, you guys don't change your time like most of the rest of us do.
No, we just have to remember what time it is elsewhere, which is even harder.
Yep. Bill, our generalist, he's a master of Windows and Macs and Chromebooks and just about everything else. Bill, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Appreciate the acknowledgement, but I don't consider I'm just a hobbyist.
Okay.
But I enjoy trying out new stuff.
And
I'm doing
Chris Gould from Geeks on Tour, our photos expert. You made it through the Panama Canal. Did you go both ways?
No, we went all the way through. We went from Fort Lauderdale through the Panama Canal, up the Pacific coast into Los Angeles. And then we spent a couple of extra days there. So we have a lot to talk about.
And we took about 1,000 pictures.
Is that all?
So yeah, what I'll be talking about today is how to cull those.
It's amazing. It wasn't too many years ago we had to worry about how many pictures we took because it would cost us more money.
More film,
Don't have to worry about
yeah.
don't have to worry
Ran-
about that anymore.
Ran out of film.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you had to wait to see the results
And forget about editing, you know.
Yep.
unless you had your own
Okay,
program.
This is Tech for Seniors. We're in our 5th year. Don't forget we have a website at www.techforsenior.com. And then we have our Tech for Senior Live on Thursdays. Now that's a little bit different format than what this is. We aren't on Zoom. We are on YouTube and Facebook. And we broadcast using something called StreamYard. So we don't get to see you, you get to see us, but you do have the ability to make comments and ask questions, and we do answer them and say hi to you that way. This Wednesday is the the meeting for the Sarasota Technology User Group. The presentation is Sue Muller, and she's going to be talking about genealogy sites. So if you're interested in genealogy and are a member of an APCUG user group, by all means, you can join the Sarasota Technology User Group. It's thestug, THESTUG.org. Will take you to the website, and you can get information on how to register for that meeting. The Windows SIG is Sunday, November 10th, and go to hewie.net to sign up for the newsletter for that. And then Let's Talk AI is on the fourth Friday of every month, is November 22nd. I was concerned that that was the big weekend, but it isn't. The big weekend's the following weekend. Thanksgiving is the 29th or 28th. It's a week later. So it'll be a good week for you to come and learn about and talk about artificial intelligence. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, Tech for Senior, and then the WinSig newsletter and the Let's Talk AI newsletter. The premiere video today is voice dictation for MS Word on your Android phone, done by Ray. Why I like Google Photos, Chris did that. And then Samsung DeX, gosh, it's been a whole year on that Drew King did. And excellent. We had a lot of response to that. And we're about ready to start our meeting. So, in our program for the day. So I'm going to turn it over to Bob G, who's going to kick it off for us.
Here is my Tech Talk and Beyond for the week ending November 1st, 2024. And this week's topic is exploring the dark web, myths versus reality. When you hear the words dark web, what comes to mind? If you're imagining shadowy figures in hooded cloaks, trading secrets like something out of a James Bond movie, you're not alone. The dark web has captured the public's imagination in a big way, thanks to pop culture and news stories. But like all things mysterious, the reality is often a lot less glamorous and a bit more messy. In this tutorial, we're going to peel back the digital curtain and separate the myths from the reality. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of what the dark web really is, what it isn't, and why it's not the spooky, hacker-filled underworld you've been led to believe. So grab your flashlight, because we're headed into the dark part of the internet, and let's dive in. Myth number 1, the dark web is synonymous with illegal activity. Reality. Yes, illegal stuff happens on the dark web. It's not exactly the land of rainbows and unicorns. You can find marketplaces selling drugs, weapons, stolen credit card information, and other nefarious things that are, super illegal. But here's the thing, not everything on the dark web is criminal. The dark web is simply a part of the internet that isn't indexed by search engines, like Google or Bing. It's a subset of the deep web, which includes anything behind a login screen, like your email or bank account. The dark web's anonymity does attract criminals, but it also provides a haven for whistleblowers, activists, journalists in oppressive regimes, and privacy-conscious people. Though while crime does happen, it's not the entire story. Example, think of it like a shady back alley. Sure, bad things can happen here, but not everyone who walks through is up to no good. Some folks are just taking a shortcut. Myth number 2, you can accidentally fall into the dark web. The reality. Sorry to disappoint, but you're not going to stumble into the dark web by clicking the wrong link while browsing at videos. Accessing the dark web requires deliberate action. You need a special browser called Tor, the onion router, to access websites with onion domains. These sites are intentionally hidden and only accessible through Tor's encryption layers, which is why they're not visible to your average internet user. So unless you're downloading Tor, configuring your settings, and actively seeking out dark web sites, you're staying squarely in the well-lit areas of the internet. Myth number 3, the dark web is for super hackers only. The reality. Movies like to show the dark web as a digital underworld where only elite hackers roam, speaking in code and cracking impossible cybersecurity puzzles. In reality, getting onto the dark web isn't all that difficult. If you can install a browser and type in a URL, congrats! You have all the hacking skills you need. The dark web might feel exclusive because it's hidden from the surface internet, but it's really just a different neighborhood online. That said, while getting on is easy, navigating safely is a whole different story. It's still full of sketchy places, and visiting the wrong corner can have real consequences. Think viruses, scams, or worse. So tread lightly. Pro tip: just because you can go to a sketchy part of town doesn't mean you should. Same goes for the dark web. Myth number 4. Using the dark web means you're totally anonymous. The reality: Tor does give you anonymity to a certain extent. It hides your IP address and encrypts your traffic, so it's difficult to trace back to you. However, difficult does not mean impossible. If you're doing something shady on the dark web and think you're untouchable, newsflash, you're not. Law enforcement agencies have gotten very good at infiltrating dark web markets and identifying users. In fact, several high-profile dark web marketplaces, like Silk Road, have been shut down by authorities, leading to arrests of both sellers and buyers. So while Tor provides some anonymity, it's not a magical invisibility cloak. Be smart. Myth number 5. The dark web is massive. The reality: the dark web is often thought to be this enormous part of the internet, far larger than the surface web we all know and love. But in reality, the dark web is quite small. Estimates vary, but most experts agree it makes up less than 1% of the total internet. In contrast, the deep web, the stuff behind passwords, paywalls, etc., is much larger, making up about 90% of the internet. So while the dark web might loom large in our imaginations, it's actually just a tiny sliver of the internet. Conclusion: tread carefully, but don't be afraid. The dark web isn't a mythological beast. It's a tool, one that can be used for good or bad, depending on how it's wielded. While it does harbor illegal activity, it also provides a refuge for people in need of anonymity and privacy. Like any tool, it's all about how it's used. Just remember, if you're thinking of checking it out, be cautious, be smart, and don't believe everything you see in the movies. And maybe, just maybe, stick to the surface internet for your cat videos. Happy, safe browsing. You'll find the video used in today's Tech Talk at the link listed. Did you know? Diet Cokes introduction was 96 years after that of its predecessor, Coca-Cola. The two colas were introduced in 1982 and 1886, respectively. Ancient Greek statues were painted with bright colors. The light stone color we associate with them today is a result of centuries of weathering stripping away the paint. Although not used consistently across the U.S., the National Fire Protection Association has recommended guidelines for fire hydrant colors, with specific colors designated for different water pressure levels for quick identification. Just thought you might like to know. Sometimes it is the simplest, seemingly most inane, most practical stuff that matters the most to someone. Thanks to Patty Duke. It's so nice to get flowers while you can still smell the fragrance. Thanks to Lena Horne. And that's a wrap for this week's Tech Talk and Beyond. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
Thank you, Bob. And next will be me. Let's talk about something we've all thought about at the airport. Those portable chargers we rely on to keep our devices powered up when traveling. Can you bring them on a plane? Let's cover everything you need to know to be prepared for your next trip. I'm Hewie Poplock. First, the good news. You absolutely can bring portable chargers on planes, and they're actually strongly encouraged in your carry-on luggage. However, there are some important regulations set by the FAA and the TSA that we need to be aware of. The biggest rule is that portable chargers are allowed in carry-on bags but strictly prohibited in checked luggage. This might seem inconvenient, but there's a good reason. Lithium-ion batteries, which power most portable chargers, can pose a fire risk if damaged or short-circuit. In the cabin, issues can quickly be identified and addressed, but in the cargo hold, that's a different story. Another key regulation is the watt-hour limit for each battery. The magic number to remember is 100 watt-hours. Now you might be wondering exactly what a watt-hour is. You might find it on your charger, but sometimes it's expressed in milliamp hours, mAh. A watt-hour is essentially a measure of energy capacity, how much power a battery can hold. For batteries between 100 and 160 watt-hours, you might be able to travel with them, but you'll need an airline approval beforehand. For international flights, there's thankfully good consistency across the globe. The International Air Transport Association, the IATA, has set guidelines similar to FAA and TSA regulations. The 100 watt-hour limit is generally good no matter where you are going. But remember that IATA sets the baseline, and the individual airlines and countries might have their own specific requirements. Let's take a look at some of the airline policies. Delta Airlines, for example, follows the standard 160 watt-hour cutoff, but also has a limit of 20 spare batteries per passenger. This includes both loose batteries and external power banks. Most major airlines like Lufthansa, American Airlines, Emirates, and Qantas align with the IATA. Singapore Airlines is unique, allowing some battery-powered devices in checked baggage, provided they're completely powered off. Now let's tackle that confusing conversion between milliamp hours and watt hours. The formula is pretty straightforward. Watt hours equals voltage multiplied by milliamp hours. divided by 1,000. Most battery pack would be 37 watt-hours, 10,000 times 3.7 divided by 1,000. Well below the limit. Even a 20,000 milliamp pack comes to 74 watt-hours, still safe. However, a 50,000 milliamp battery would be 185 watt-hours, exceeding even the special case limit. For those looking for specific recommendations, there are several great options. The Anker 622 magnetic battery, or MAGO, is a compact 5,000 milliamp charger with MagSafe compatibility for iPhones. The Anker 533 power bank, which is Power Core 10K, offers 10,000 milliamp capacity with both USB-C and USB-A ports. For power users, the Anker 737 power bank Power Core 24K packs an impressive 24,000 milliamp capacity, or 88.8 watt-hours, with fast charging capabilities. That information comes from Anker. It's fascinating how portable chargers have become essential travel companions, reflecting our increasing reliance on technology. While this might raise questions about our dependence on devices, these chargers provide valuable peace of mind, especially when dealing with long layovers or unpredictable delays. They're our safety net, ensuring that we stay connected to have access to important information throughout our journey. Remember always to check your specific airline's policies before traveling. A little knowledge goes a long way in ensuring smooth and enjoyable travels. Safe travels, and keep those batteries charged. And speaking of travel, our travelers, Chris and Jim, are here, and Chris is going to talk about fun with photos, easy organizing when you go on those long trips. So, Chris, take it away.
This one is about easy organizing for your entire lifetime of photos. And I always say that Google Photos does make it easy. So then why do you need a whole book? I wrote a whole book on Google Photos. I have a couple hundred videos. Well, there's a lot that you can know, but this video tries to give you the least amount of work for the best amount of organization. Gather all your photos in one place. Now, I use Google Photos. You know that. So most everything I teach is about Google Photos. But any documentation that you read, any books, any YouTube videos about organizing your lifetime of photos starts with step 1. They must all be in one place. There's no hope to organize them if some are in the closet upstairs, some are in a photo album, some are on this phone, some are on that camera. The first step is to get them all in one place. And that's something that Google Photos is so good at. Why? Because it stores everything in the cloud, and the cloud has unlimited space. Yes, you might have to pay something for it, but you will never run out of space. Step 1 is gathering all in one place. As far as I'm concerned, if you're using Google Photos, that's pretty much a no-brainer. It's done because the cloud can hold it all. And notice here, you can gather from your phone, you can gather from hard drives, you can gather from your computer. All of the photos end up in the cloud in one giant stream sorted by date taken. But the second step is to separate the best from the rest. So you have this cloud full of thousands and thousands of photos. You can just mark your favorites. Then anytime you want, you can just view your favorites. I'm going to show you on Google Photos, I'm going to show you on the Samsung Gallery, and I'm going to show you on Apple Photos, because all three of them have the feature of favorites. First is Google Photos and I'm going to do it with my Samsung. We just went on this 3-week cruise. Now, I make albums, but you don't have to. The point of today's session is for those who want to exert the minimum amount of effort for the maximum amount of organization value. So I made an album. A lot of you followed along, but I also marked some favorites. So how do I see just my favorites? I go to collections and then favorites. So now I'm just seeing a selection. I'm seeing the best photos because I marked them with a star. As soon as you take a handful of photos and you look at them, say, oh, I like that one the best, and you just tap the star. Now, if I look at my favorites, I will see that one. So you mark it with a star, and then you view it by going to collections and favorite. If I should change my mind and say, no, I like that one better, I can unstar. You just tap the star again. Now it is unstarred. I can choose another one and star it. So that's Google Photos. This is my Samsung. I go to Samsung Gallery and look at all my photos. So we went to a party last night, and I was fascinated by this sailfish up on the wall. So that is a photo. On the Samsung, it's a little heart that makes it a favorite. Now, if I want to see just my favorites, it is an album called Favorites. So now I'm just looking at my favorites, and there is that sailfish. That marks the photo as a favorite in Samsung Gallery. If I mark a favorite in Samsung Gallery, it is not marked in Google Photos. Favorite in Samsung Gallery, not favorite in Google Photos. So you need to pick one. You need to pick one app that you're going to stick with and use. Apple Photos. Just this morning, I took some photos of our YouTube studio here. Jim's been working. Jim's been switching things around, and I wanted to document it. So I took a few photos. I want to just mark one of them as a favorite. In iPhotos, or Apple Photos, once again, it's a heart that marks it as a favorite. And then when you go back and look at albums, they call it pinned collections, and there is favorites, and there is the one that I just marked of Jim. So in Apple Photos, you mark it with a heart, you view it in an album called Favorites. So that's Google Photos, Samsung Gallery, and Apple Photos can all create favorites and view just your favorites. I use favorites for a lot. Instead of just searching for sunsets, I want to search for favorite sunsets. Instead of just searching for California, I want to search for California favorites. I go to my Google Photos, and I'm going to use it on the computer here, but this works the same on phone. I will search for sunsets. There are hundreds and hundreds of sunsets, and obviously lots of duplicates or similar photos. You never take just one picture of a pretty sunset, right? But I do try to mark my favorites. So if I just in the search include sunsets and favorites, now I get a lot fewer overall, definitely fewer similar photos, and they're all pretty good photos because I have marked them with a star. Let's try another one. California. If I just search for California, I'm going to get a lot. From visits we've made out there, from the times I lived out there, it goes on and on. But if I just type California favorites, I'll get a much better selection, and they'll all be good photos because I've marked them with a star. Ha! Look at that. I used to backpack in California. Let's say that I've just met a new friend and we start talking about scuba diving. I want to show them my scuba diving pictures. I want to share them. So I will go to Google Photos, that's where all my pictures are, and I'll search for scuba. But you'll notice that I have a lot of pictures about scuba. I don't want to go share these hundreds of photos with my new friend. What can I do? I can just add the word favorites. I've gotten pretty good at marking a star on the photos that I think are the best. So if I search for scuba favorites, now I don't get so many. Step 2. So step 1 is find the photos I want to share. Step 2 is to then select them all. Now you have to click on the first one and then shift click on further ones. Notice I now have 17 selected. If I scroll down to the bottom, shift click, I now have 77 selected. I'm doing this on the web version of Google Photos, but it works on the phone just as well. Now that I have the photos selected that I want to share, I click the share button. And I want to just get a link. Create link, copy, and I can go to my email now, create a new email, and I just paste that link in. Now, if you want to see what this looks like from the other side, here I am at Danny's email, and I can open the message and click the link, and he's seeing all my favorite scuba photos. So that was sharing a favorite group of photos. The other thing I want to show you is how to back up, meaning copy down to your computer's hard drive. And for this example, let's say I need a backup of all of my 2023 photos, but not all of them because there are thousands, just my favorites. Let me show you how. So I search for 2023 favorites, and now I still have to select them. I click on the first one, and now you can't go all the way down to the bottom because I still have hundreds here. It will get confused. You have to do it in kind of chunks, and I wish there was a select all, but there is not. So I click on the first one, I hold down the shift key, and click on another one further down. Okay, so I now have 564 images selected. I click the 3-dot menu at the far right and download. It says preparing to download 564 items. That will take a minute. When it's ready, it pops up a dialog box of my computer's hard drives and wonders where I want to put it. You could change your browser settings for downloads to change that because I would like it to go to my external hard drive. This is for backup purposes and in pictures, and I will call it 2023 favorites. And notice it makes it into a zip file. That's fine. I like that for backups. You click save and you are now done. You have a backup of all your favorite pictures for the whole year. So that is using favorites to share what you want and to back up what you want. So you can have a complete photo management system just by gathering all your pictures in one place, separate the best from the rest, then download the best to the computer for backup and safekeeping. That's what I think is the full circle of organizing your photos.
Yeah, we'll have the Q&A at the end. Great ideas and suggestions. And now, speaking of great things, believe it or not, ChatGPT has come up with a search, and Ron has tried to figure it out. So he's going to talk about it. Thank you. Go ahead, Ron.
This week I was so excited because I got accepted for ChatGPT search. Yes, I was on the waiting list. This is November the 1st, 2024. I finally got approved and I can use ChatGPT search. Now, everyone's probably been using search in Copilot or Gemini, or in fact, you're probably doing a lot of searching even in ChatGPT. But in this case, ChatGPT has a specific search engine. In this video, we're going to talk about an overview that I've done for you. I'm going to show you how search works in ChatGPT. It's a little different, and I'll show you how that occurs. And we're also going to show you on a mobile. We're then going to do a search in ChatGPT and compare it to Google Chrome and their new AI overview. And we'll see how the two compare and let you be the judge. So let's get on with this video. I didn't realize ChatGPT could do this. Meet ChatGPT's new search feature. Imagine having real-time info at your fingertips. Need the latest news? Bam, it's there. Want to fact check something? Done. Before, ChatGPT was like an encyclopedia with a cutoff date. Now, it's your up-to-the-minute assistant. Students, researchers, and professionals can stay updated without endless Googling. Shopping for the best deals? ChatGPT's got you covered with current prices and reviews. And news junkies, you're in for a treat planning a trip or making a big decision. ChatGPT uses real-time data to help you out. It's fast, accurate, and incredibly convenient. So what are you waiting for? Dive into the future with ChatGPT's search feature today. OpenAI recently introduced a new feature in ChatGPT, an integrated search capability that allows ChatGPT to access real-time information from the web. This enhancement fundamentally changes how users interact with the model, taking it from a static source of knowledge to a dynamic, up-to-date assistant capable of answering current questions, fact-checking, and much more. Here's a look at the key advantages of using ChatGPT's new search feature and how it's transforming the AI experience for users across all industries. New features in this product include real-time information access, fact-checking and verification, efficient research for professionals and students, a more informed shopping experience, dynamic and interactive news source, enhanced decision-making with real-time data, customizable with reliable sources, and increased efficiency and convenience. Now, if you look at the diagram here, you'll see that this is my ChatGPT sort of home page. And now you'll see the added search feature, which will be the search button that you're going to use to initiate a search within ChatGPT. If you don't see that button, you do not have the search capability built in yet, but it should be coming. If you do have the Plus version, then you definitely will see that today when you access ChatGPT. All right, this is my Pixel 8 Pro. You'll see the ChatGPT icon. We're going to click this and open it. And there you'll see at the bottom, you'll see the search feature. It's highlighted now in blue as I click search. And if I want to put any text in, I can just type the text in there for a search. And that is how you use ChatGPT search on your mobile device. All right, now let's do a search with ChatGPT. So I'm going to click on the search icon here, and we're going to open up a search result. I'm going to type in, or we're going to paste in, what I would like to search for. I am a snowbird traveling to Casa Grande and need a list of local RV parks. I play golf, so would like ones close to golf courses. Let's see what it comes up with on our search. So here is what it's found. It's found the RV parks that I've asked for. And again, I could expand the search. You could actually dictate into this window up here in your search, and you could, of course, go on and refine your search as you want. And it's going to find the information you've requested. These are the parks. If you click on the blue link here, it will take you to their website. Let's come down to the bottom here and let's look at the sources. Where did it find this information? Well, here it is. We can find all the references that it used to find this information right on the right-hand side. That's pretty cool. I think very informative. But let's see how Google does comparing to this, okay? All right, we're back over on my desktop, and we have, of course, Google Search open. Let's type the same information in. We'll just paste this in. This is the same information. And let's see what happens when I do a search. Well, that was pretty fast. Anyway, the first thing I want you to notice as you're looking at this is you will see this new AI overview here. This is something that was rolled out the last few weeks, and you all should have this now on your Google search. This is, if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see the traditional search, but what Google Chrome now has is called an AI overview that's going to summarize the information at the bottom and present it at the top. So let's see how well it did as compared to ChatGPT. Well, let's show more and let's have a look. Well, we have a number of RV parks that they've recommended here along the side. And if we come over to the right, you'll see all the references, and you can see all the references on the right-hand side that Google Chrome used to find this information. Now, the only thing I can tell you about this is I used to live in Mesa for 10 years. I can tell you that the Mesa Regal RV Resort and Eagle View RV Resort are nowhere near Casa Grande. They're actually in Mesa. So very interesting. Well, I don't think Google quite was quite accurate. But anyway, that's comparing the two. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. What do you think of ChatGPT's new search capability? I'd sure appreciate it if you give it a try and compare it to Google Chrome. Hey, compare it to the search engine you use now. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be faster? Is it going to be all the things they say it is? Well, I just compared the two to Google Chrome search and a ChatGPT search. I'd like you to give it a try, but before you do that, please click that like and subscribe. We'd sure.
Good test of the feature, and I'm going to have to try that when it becomes available to me. All right, it's my turn again, and this time we're going to talk about something a little bit lighter than what we normally do. So let's go ahead and get started.
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Hewie Poplock.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. This is website of the week number 23, Cracked, from cracked.com. I first found cracked.com in an ad in Facebook. The title, 45 random bits of trivia that will swarm on your brain like flying ants on a fallen hot dog, got my curiosity up, as I do like trivia and humor. We will take a quick look at a few of these and then go on to some other information. For instance, The Godfather. Spain thinks The Godfather is about a chess match at Olive Garden, as you can tell from the photograph that's there. And that, to let the audience know that the movie is about Italians, the poster has traditional symbol for Italy, pasta. At least it didn't have spaghetti dangling from the hand in the logo. Second City, Chicago. With top-notch sketch and improv, it was basically a Saturday Night Live farm system. Bill Murray, Mike Myers, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Chris Farley, Bill Hader, and many more began at the Chicago branch. Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert started there as well. Cracked.com is associated with the Cracked magazine, which was founded in 1958 and often considered a knockoff of Mad Magazine. Cracked magazine copied Mad Magazine's layouts, style, and even had a similar mascot, Sylvester P. Smith, who was a parody of Mad's Alfred E. Newman. The magazine ceased publication in 2007, but the brand was carried over to the website Cracked.com, which launched in 2005 and continues to operate today. However, Tech for Seniors is a tech show. So let's look at some science and history and maybe fit in a little bit of tech in there as well. We're now on the science and history page, and let's look at 5 products invented by the last person you'd expect. There are a surprising number of famous faces behind innovative technology, but it's usually because they've become so good at the thing they're famous for that they need previously unknown equipment. Like, no one would be surprised to find out Steven Spielberg had invented a new type of movie camera, or Adele a new type of microphone, or Jennifer Lopez a new type of divorce. Sometimes, however, people venture into fields they have no business in with beautifully mixed results. Missouri's favorite literary son, who was also a celebrated inventor, but you probably didn't realize he had a hand in your over-the-shoulder boulder holder. His patent was actually meant to be a replacement for suspenders, specifically an adjustable and detachable elastic strap for vests, pantaloons, and other garments requiring straps. But it turned out there was actually only one other garment it was useful for. The next time you're cinching that little slider to haul up your fun bags, be sure to think of Mr. Twain. Here are some neon bits of the 80s trivia that are all vying for a spot in the Brat Pack. Apple wanted to make the iPhone back in the 80s. The first design of the iPhone was made back as far as 1983, which looks more like an iPad, but with actual phone attached. A man in the 80s programmed his Atari computer to make thousands of calls to Jerry Falwell. The calls to Falwell's toll-free number would hang up and call again every 30 seconds, amounting to over $500,000 in phone bills to the Falwell's organization. We'll finish up with some of the dumbest ways people freaked over new tech. In the 1910s, people thought kids who liked movies would be sickly adults. Apparently, going to the theater often would rob them of exercise needed for healthy growth. Computers, the terror of the 80s. People were afraid of computers to the point that they refused to touch or talk about the machines. In 1878, the New York Times published an editorial that called Thomas Edison's invention, the phonograph, a depraved ingenuity. They claimed that the invention would destroy society because everyone would be too scared about being recorded to trust anyone else. In the first few decades after email was introduced, people believed that it could be detrimental to the user's IQ. A British study in 2005 even claimed that using emails hurt your IQ more than smoking pot. The website of the week is cracked.com, made up of trivia and jokes, movies and TV, science and history, videos, and they even have a newsletter. If you enjoy this type of humor, you can sign up for their newsletter and get some information on a regular basis. Also, the videos are videos that they produced, and you can watch them as well. So if your humor is cracked, take a look at cracked.com. And to go from there, we'll go to something serious. Bob, take it away.
Right, spam is a tasty treat, but digital spam is like that bad neighbor who keeps ringing your doorbell. Unwanted emails, texts, calls, and notifications are not just annoying, they're a legitimate privacy threat. Here are some tips to keep your digital life spam-free and secure, in plain terms and with a dash of humor. Number 1, your email's VIP lounge, filters, rules, and a guest list. Use email filters and rules. Filters can send junk straight to the spam folder before you even see it. Set these up for suspicious keywords, Unsubscribe links or strange senders. Think of them as bouncers for your inbox. Have a sidekick email address. For online sign-ups, use a secondary email. Your main inbox stays tidy while the sidekick deals with ads, newsletters, and accidental spam. Avoid the unsubscribe trap. Spammers often add fake unsubscribe links to confirm a real active email address. So if an email feels off, report it as spam rather than unsubscribing. Number 2, block calls like a pro. Built-in phone options. Both Android and iPhone let you block unknown or persistent callers. On iPhones, use silence unknown callers, while Android lets you directly block numbers. This way, if it's important, they'll leave a voicemail, and if it's spam, you'll never know it rang. Carrier tools. Most major providers offer free apps to fight spam. Try AT&T Active Armor, Verizon Call Filter, or T-Mobile Scam Shield. These can auto-block scam calls and let you report offenders with a tap. Number 3, spam texts. Block and report. Report text spam. In the U.S., forward spam text to 7726. This alerts your carrier and they'll use the info to block similar messages. Avoid clicking in texts. Don't click links in texts from unknown sources. These links could lead to phishing sites or even malware downloads. Use messaging apps with built-in filters. Apps like Truecaller or RoboKiller detect spam texts and calls. They've built a community-shared database of known spammers, so you benefit from everyone's block calls and texts. Number 4, robocalls. AI knows what to do. Stir Shaken Framework. This recent FCC initiative makes it harder for robocallers to fake numbers on legitimate carriers. It helps stop spam at the source, especially with larger providers. Smaller networks are still catching up, but these protections mean fewer spoofed calls get through. AI on your side. While scammers sometimes use AI to mimic familiar voices, it's also used by call filtering apps to identify and stop robocalls. So if you get a call from grandma asking for your credit card, maybe confirm it's her through another channel. Number 5, email safety check. Phishing radar on. Look before you click. Hover over links to check the URL and ignore emails with strange grammar or requests for personal info. If it's legit, you can always check with the company directly. Third-party anti-spam tools. Tools like Spam Bully or Mail Washer act like super spam detectors by blacklisting and filtering out known spammers and spam phrases. Number 6, a password worthy of Fort Knox. Use unique, strong passwords. Each account should have its own password. Try a password manager for extra security and to avoid the headache of remembering dozens of passwords. Enable two-factor authentication. A good 2FA app will give you a unique code every time you log in, meaning even if someone gets your password, they can't access your account without the second step. To sum it up, fine-tune those filters, avoid clicking unknown links, and use your phone's blocking features like a pro. Your digital peace of mind will thank you. Stay safe, stay secure, and keep spam where it belongs. In the frying pan, not in your inbox. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
Thank you, Bob. great advice. Can't say it enough. So if you've heard it before, you'll hear it again because people keep getting caught by the spam and other devices that the bad guys have. Okay, something just before we go to Ray, we need to say goodbye to our YouTube people that are live on YouTube, not those of you who are watching the recording, but those of you who are live on YouTube. You can join us on Zoom, but we have to turn you off for some obvious reasons. And Ray will be ready for us. Right now, we're good. So let's go, Ray. Let's hear some toe tapping music or just some good music.
Okay, Hewie, thank you very much. Let me see what I can do here. Here we go. Okay, Andrew Lloyd Webber, the most commercially successful composer in history. So Andrew Lloyd Webber was born March 22, 1948 in London, England. His father was a composer and organist. His mother was a piano teacher, and his younger brother, Julian Lloyd Webber, a well-known cellist. So growing up in a musically inclined family, Andrew was naturally drawn towards music from a young age. His early career was marked by a collaboration with lyricist Tim Rice, which led to the creation of several successful musicals, including Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar from 1971. Now, Andrew Lloyd Webber's career continued to flourish with the creation of Evita back in 1976, a musical about Eva Peron, which won several awards, including the Olivier Award for Best Musical. His next major success was Cats, 1981, based on the T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, which became the longest-running Broadway musical in Broadway history at the time. One of his most iconic works, The Phantom of the Opera, 1986, has been a massive success worldwide and continues to be performed in theaters around the globe. Now, in addition to his musical achievements, Andrew Lloyd Webber has received numerous awards and honors, including a knighthood. He has also been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So today's clip is from the 2004 film adaptation of The Phantom of the Opera, which I had not seen before. Much to my surprise, the Scottish actor Gerard Butler, known for his starring roles in a variety of action movies, plays the Phantom and actually sings songs such as The Music of the Night. Now, this is quite impressive when you consider he had no prior singing experience before undergoing extensive vocal training for the role. Co-stars include Emmy Rossum, she was only 17 years old when the filming began, as Christine Daae, and Patrick Wilson as Raoul de Chagny. Now, despite mixed reviews, the film was a commercial success and received 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Cinematography, Best Original Song, and Best Art Direction. It is available to rent if you want to watch it on Amazon Prime Video. Got to stop sharing, Ron. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So, someone suggested that to me in the chat several weeks back. I remember the name of the song, of course, and Andrew Lloyd Webber, but I didn't jot down the note of who was suggested. So thank you very much, whoever that was.
You muted, Hewie.
That was me, Ray Carl.
Okay.
You're muted.
Thank you, Carl.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, probably my favorite composer of all times. His melodic song interpretation is just out of this world.
It was the New York Times that gave me that tagline about the most commercially successful composer of all time.
Indeed. Indeed.
And what was his wife's name that he sang it with in Toronto? I don't think they were married.
Sarah Brightman.
Yep. Awesome.
And kudos to Ray for his breadth of music presentations, and that's from Bill Thank you, Ray. Very good. We are running a little late, but we do have time for some Q&A. So if you have some questions, hit the button to raise your hand or kind of wave in front, and we'll call on you. Any questions, comments?
I have a comment. On my comparison in my video between ChatGPT and Google search, I think that, in fact, if you look at the string that I put in there, I said, and I want it close to a golf course. And I think the reason that it got those two courses that were in Mesa was that those were close to a golf course, like they were right on a golf course. So I think had I don't think Google made a mistake. I think that if I had said limit the search to 20 miles around Casa Grande, then it wouldn't have picked those two. So I don't think it was my fault, not Google's. And I think that's why because Mesa Regal's in Mesa, it's not we're near Casa Grande, but there is a golf course real close. So I think that's the reason that it brought those up. So I just wanted to clarify that I think Google still did a good job on the search.
Yeah, and that points out the fact that when you're going to ask questions to any of AI, you really have to think about what you're putting in as the phrase, and are you covering it, and how is it going to think? And if it doesn't come out the way you want, you might want to reword it.
Correct. And the other thing is just to be aware that when I got my acceptance letter last week, it was available in the non-paid version, and I used it a couple of times. When I went to make my video on Saturday, it was only available in the paid version. So it cost me $20 to activate the paid version so that's there. So if it's slowly rolling out, and it should be rolling out the next couple of weeks, and it should be free. It will be a feature of the free version, and the search will be there for you.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Steve, you have your hand up.
Yeah, Bob, have you tried Malwarebytes Browser Guard?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I just
Okay,
wondered
Murray, you're
what of it.
Murray, you're up
Yes.
next.
Two comments. One, I'm using Copilot as a search engine, and it performs extremely well. It does all this. It's really, really good for me. And of course, I don't have the paid version of ChatGPT, so I think I'll stick to Copilot. But it does great things like searching Amazon for all the 1,000 things of a particular item, but two or three that have only the specific characteristics I want, and finds them for me and gives me the price, all kinds of things. Then the other thing, when you're talking about people who had different careers, I think it's interesting that Hedy Lamarr, who was famous as an actress, was the inventor of spread spectrum way back when. She did it for communication with submarines, but during the war. But I thought that was quite amazing that she was the inventor of that, which of course is the key to Wi-Fi. Anyway, thank you for all your presentations.
Thanks, Murray. Any other comments or questions? We certainly had a varied group of varied diversification of ideas and information today. And I thank all of the speakers, including me. And I had a lot of fun putting together the presentations, and I know we all enjoy doing them. So we appreciate the fact that you get something out of them. Any other comments, questions?
Good to see everyone.
I will.
Chris has something.
Yeah, I am curious if anybody out there does use Google Photos and does mark their favorite. I'm curious if they would try doing a search for something like California favorites, or adding favorites to a search, and see if it works. I'm afraid it's been my experience that recently Google Photos is experimenting with AI search, and the normal way that search has been working is getting flaky. So I'm curious if what I taught today works for people.
Maybe she lied to you.
It works for me.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, if it starts not working, don't despair. I think they're just going through transitions.
It works for me.
Any other
Well, it
comments?
doesn't.
I do
Ron,
know that Google's that the search in photos, you can now use just regular word search or ordinary terms used in searches, and it's gotten quite a bit better or totally different from what it used to do. Because it was very, very specific. If you didn't have a search phrase right, you got really surprised by your answers. But now, since you can use everyday word searches, it seems to do a much better job of finding the pictures you're after.
So do you have the Ask Photos feature yet?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do not.
So that is AI. You type a sentence. I mean, you ask it
Yes.
like you ask AI chats, but therefore searching for California favorites, I find does not work. I get lots of results that are not favorites.
Unlike you, I haven't used the favorites feature,
Oh,
so
So you
it's
haven't
not.
been marking favorites then?
No, I
Okay.
haven't.
Okay.
Well, you should.
Well, yeah, after watching the video, I'm saying, gee, that's something I should have been doing, but it's kind of
Well-
late now after thousands and thousands of pictures to try to go
No, you can
through.
start going
Yeah, you can
forward.
still
Yeah,
start
right.
now.
I have
You don't
nothing
have
else
to
to
go
do.
back. You don't have to go back, but you can adopt new, better ways of doing things.
It is something
I'm
I'll do in the future, but it's not something I'm going to go back and do.
No,
I
right,
could,
right.
I could, and I'll just tell Ron, I'm sorry, I don't have any videos for you this week.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. I just want to remind everyone about Ray's music so I know there's a lot of catchy toe tapping tunes every week, but remember they're all added to Ray's playlist so that please remember that if you want to listen to them all, it's all available in his playlist. Where would you find this playlist? Well, not only in our Tuesday newsletter does Ray's whole article appear again with the links to those specific videos, but there's also a link to Ray's playlist as well. So it's all there in our Tuesday newsletter. So
And
you can
as
go
I
back
said
and see
in the chat, I always put the links to the videos in the chat on the day I show them. So that way you have the ability to go back and play them as long and as loud as you like.
Correct.
And to go along with that, Bob places all of his videos in his YouTube channel, and I put all of mine in my YouTube channel, as well as Ron puts them in the Tech for Senior channel. So all of our videos are available for you.
All the fun with photos are up on our
And and of course Chris and Jim have their big website, Fun with Photos, and all of their videos. Carl, you have your hand up, and you'll be the last one to speak.
Okay, so I may have missed something, Chris and Jim, on the Google Photos. Is it a case that that's a new update feature? Because I have Google Photos.
Yeah, the Ask feature is a new thing on if you open up Google Photos, you'll either have let's see if I can show this.
The Ask Photos is a new AI feature of Google Photos, and you probably do not have it. You have to get on a waiting list and request it. I don't know if you can see let me get.
Well, I recall the icon. It looks like a Earth or globe or something.
Backwards.
Don't worry about it.
No, there. See where it says Ask?
Oh.
Yours probably says search.
Oh.
Ask
Okay.
is the new AI feature.
But I thought I saw something where you had like a global icon too, or was that a different presentation? Rolling them together. Well, that's okay. I'll look for. So how do you ask for it?
You probably don't have it. You have.
It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come eventually.
Okay. All right. So basically the benefit is it's conversational queries instead of
Exactly.
words.
Exactly. It's
Thank you.
conversational.
Thank you. Good presentation, by the way.
My Pixel 2 in Google Photos has the ask on there right now.
Oh, okay.
And mine does not. I have
So
a
it is
Pixel
rolling
7.
out.
Or
Yeah.
Pixel 8, I should say, not 2.
And don't forget the Tech for Senior educational series, episode 190A. And I will once again put it in the chat box in case you missed it and came in late. And with that, Ron, any final words from you? That will do it for this week. Don't forget Thursday, Tech for Senior Live. Wednesday, the genealogy at Stug. Sunday at WinSig. And till next time, thank you all for being here.
And
Don't
if you
forget
haven't
to
voted
vote.
yet, and if you
Yeah.
haven't voted yet, make sure you do it tomorrow.
Please.
Please.